At Cincinnati, Houston, rematch of last year's last year's AFC wildcard matchups. First time since I believe '83 that the Bengals have made the playoffs in back-to-back years. The Bengals have never, in the history of their franchise, won a road playoff game. Never. So the initial question is, does that change this weekend? Can Cincinnati figure out a way to beat the Houston Texans?
They can, and I think they need to get A.J. Green going early. They need a couple of quick passes, an early score, get up, and let that defense that has been one of the best defenses in the NFL over the last 8 games of the season play. Let Geno Atkins run wild in the middle. Their defense, I heard it yesterday, has been averaging 12.8 points a game the last 8 games of the season. Pretty good.
I'd say so. That Geno Atkins guy, man, for a defensive tackle, man, he's good. I mean, he's a very, very solid player. I will say, I think Cincinnati got to get A.J. Green going early. He had 10 touchdowns this season, but most of them came early in the year. He was on a streak, I think, where he had like 7 games in a row with a touchdown catch. But like I said, most of it came early in the year. Cincinnati's offense, they've been running the ball pretty well. Dalton's playing pretty well. You got to watch out for the tip passes by J.J. Watt and the rest of the Houston defensive line. But I look at this game, and I think the bottom line comes down to a very, very simple factor. If Cincinnati can stop Arian Foster, then I think they win this game. Because I don't think Houston's defense, if they have to play it too many snaps, is going to be able to stop Cincinnati's offense.
So you don't see J.J. Watt just kind of taking control, getting to Dalton?
Well, he had the game-changing play last year. They were tied, I think, at 10 apiece. And he had the interception to the house off of one of his tip passes. And it pretty much completely just swung all momentum to Houston, and Cincinnati was just done because they lost by 21. But it was like a 10-10 game. And then that interception happens, and the rest is history. Arian Foster breaks out a long touchdown run. They lose by 21 points, 31-10. I think the home field advantage is going to help Houston. But I think if Cincinnati's defense can get off the field and limit the amount of like third down conversions Houston has and all that kind of stuff and win the – like Cincinnati to me needs to win a couple aspects of this game to win the game as a whole. I think they need to win the field position battle. I think they need to be the better running team. And I think that they're going to end up being the team that has more plays of 20-plus yards, which is always a big deal. So I'm going to go with the upset. I am. I think Cincinnati ends up winning this game. I think Houston's stumbling into the playoffs. Like we said, they've lost 2 in a row going in. And their defense just does not look the same over the last month and a half, 2 months. They really don't. Pretty much the entire second half of the season. They just don't look like the same team anymore.
Their secondary has let up a lot of big plays. That's the difference.
Yeah.
You saw it, and it really started that week they played Jacksonville. And Jacksonville was able to put up 37 or 40 points against them. Something absurd that Jacksonville just shouldn't be able to do to anybody.
Ironically enough, these teams are almost identical in yards allowed. Houston actually gives up 3 more yards a game. That's it. They give up 13 more passing yards a game, and they only give up 9 or 10 less rushing yards a game. So they give up 3 more yards a game. That's a close little matchup. Offensively, Houston puts up more yards. Better running team, better passing team. 372 yards a game compared to 333. Quietly, Andre Johnson had an amazing season. 112 catches, almost 2 yards short of 1,600, but only 4 touchdowns. I mean, I don't know. I think this is going to be a very good game. I don't think this is a 21-point blowout like it was the last last year when these two teams met. I really don't. So who do you like? We might as well pick the games as we go. It'll keep things flowing better for us anyway. So. No way. I have no pen. Ow, money. Got no pen.
It's all right.
I'm gonna type it in my phone. Got it.
Yeah, it's only 4 games.
Yeah. Oh wow. So I'm gonna go with Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati actually.
You kind of stole my thunder because I was thinking about going there, but you know what? The more I think about it,
the harder it is to pick them.
The harder it is to pick them because you just look at Schaub, you look at Johnson, you look at Foster, and you just think this offense can't be that bad forever. And you look defensively and you say, oh, well, yeah, they've had some injuries, but who hasn't?
Yeah.
And they still have their defensive leader in J.J. Watt. Can he amp them up enough? I'm going with Houston.
You going to go with Houston? I stole your thunder and then possibly helped you pick the right team. It shall be interesting to see, my friend. It shall be. So let's move over to the Saturday night game. Miserable, by the way. I'm not going to get to watch either one of these games. At best, I get home. Michelle the Great, Julie Jules, they both like Houston. I can understand
why. I threw it up
why.
there in the chat just in case anybody wanted to throw it back at us. Who they thought they, who you guys think would win, Houston or Cincy, and a couple other Houstons coming back.
I can understand why, though, and that's the thing. That's the hardest part about, and that's why we're in the playoffs now. These are the hardest games of all to pick because you didn't just get here because luck happened. I mean, maybe a little bit of luck helped you get here, but a
little bit of luck.
That would have been such a better transition. That would have been great to just flow right into it. So our Saturday night game, you got Green Bay hosting Minnesota. Now, usually Lambeau Field was like, one of the scariest places to go play. Ice, frigid, cold. I think they've lost 2 out of their last 3 home games in Green Bay in the playoffs, including the elimination to the Giants last year. Elimination to the Giants back in 2007. I mean, so Lambeau doesn't have the same
elimination
mystique.
By Michael Vick a few years prior to that.
So, I mean, think about it. Do you think Lambeau
has
has
lost
that mystique?
3
or
of their last 4 home playoff games,
yeah.
I think.
Is it that Lambeau doesn't carry that mystique anymore, or do players just not care about playing in the cold anymore?
Well, you look at a guy like Greg Jennings, and Greg Jennings flat out came out and said he would rather play in a dome than play at Lambeau. And he doesn't think it's a home field advantage because he's freezing his tuchus off.
You know what? And that could be a valid point. If you think about it, this team has become a pass-first team, which is always more appropriate inside of a dome where you're temperature controlled and everything. But, I don't know, man. I think this is going to be a hell of a matchup. I think that once again, you'll see Rodgers put up really good numbers. You're going to see Adrian Peterson put up really good numbers. And I think your question is, who else is going to make a play? Can one of Green Bay's running backs step up? Whether it's this Green kid or Ryan Grant. Or, on Minnesota, is Ponder going to be able to make a couple plays down the field to stretch out the defense every now and then? Or do you look to the other side of the ball? Can Minnesota's defense force a sack fumble? Or can Green Bay's defense knock Peterson backwards 3 plays in a or 2-3 plays in a row and force a 3rd and 18? That to me is the determining factor of this game. Who outside of the 2 guys are going to put up their stats? Who else is going to step up to make and break who wins? So that's what I'll ask you. What player on either team, I don't care which team you pick, I'll go with the other team. What player steps up?
Oh, you don't have to go with any other team.
No, I'm saying I'll go with the other team. I'm just saying we're going to pick a player on each team, so I'll give you the chance to go first, and then I'll go with the other team. I don't mind. I like both these teams. I know enough about them that I don't need to,
Why don't you pick first, then?
All right, I'll pick first. Crosby. Yes, I said it. Crosby.
You rely too much on kickers.
No, that reliable leg has been very disappointing for Green Bay all year long. And he is going to either make or break this game for them. I know it's sad to say, but I think it's true. I think Crosby makes or breaks this game for Green Bay. They can either win by 3, lose by 3. I really think he's either going to make a field goal at a big moment or miss a field goal at a big moment that's going to decide which way this goes.
I don't think Aaron Rodgers lets it come to that. I think
it's not
he
up
knows
to Aaron
better.
Rodgers.
It is, though, because when it comes down to 3rd and short or, 3rd and long even, he's going to make sure he finds a way to make that first down so he doesn't have to rely on a field goal.
And yet last time they played, Aaron Rodgers played almost a perfect game, and they still lost. Their defense needs to make plays. That's why I'm saying I think it comes down to Crosby. I do. I mean, I'm trying to find Rodgers' stats for the last game they played.
No, I know he had a good game, but I just think if it comes down to late in the fourth quarter, game on the line, I think he'll be more inclined to make sure a play happens rather than rely on a kick.
Yeah, but if your coach runs out your kicking unit.
Yeah, but I don't think, knowing what their kicking unit's done this year, that McCarthy's going to run Crosby out if, say, the game goes to overtime. And a field goal could possibly win the game for you. I think he still trots the offense back out there and tries to go for the score, to be sure. I don't know if he wants it to all rely on Crosby this week.
I think he's the difference maker. So now it's your turn. I told you, I could have won either team. I had a guy for both.
I think the difference maker in the game is Christian Ponder. And I say that because Adrian Peterson's a beast. He's going to get his yards. He's going to do what he does. To me, it's got to be Christian Ponder because if the guy can make no mistakes, they're probably going to have a good chance to win this game. If he comes in, throws a pick or two, or fumbles, I don't think this game's even close. I think he has to play mistake-free football.
Well, here you go. In the loss against the Packers in week 13.
And Dad, just to throw it out there, Dad, you won the weekly picks for the year. Fife ended up not picking the last 2 weeks of the season anyway, so you are our winner for the season, just so you know. You won the weekly picks.
And Glenn, when I actually have free time to sit down and do all the adding of 16 weeks of football, I will do it for you. But trust me, I don't have the time right now. But to go back to what you said, Christian Ponder in their loss on week 13, 3.1 total QBR. In their win last week, 94.6. Big difference. And week 13 game was still close. And Adrian Peterson rushed for over 200 yards.
Yeah.
I seriously look at this game, and I just think it's going to be another close, punch, beat 'em up.
Is that what you really want, Dad? If you want me to sing you the champ song because you won and you want to count that as your prize, I will sing you the song. You just say the word. I will sing it right now on air for everybody. I will give you a little bit of a tune. If that's what you want for winning this year.
Oh, I don't care.
If you want it for winning.
I don't care if that's what he wants. That's what I want.
No.
No. Background song's off.
If he wants it.
Background song is off.
Let's go. If he doesn't want it and he'd rather me do it in the comfort of home later, I can sing for him later, too. A little acoustic set.
Glenn, don't take this from me, Glenn.
We don't have to hear the song.
Come on, Glenn. Don't take it from me. Tell him you want it.
I don't know if he wants it because I figure he would have responded. It's just simply yes or no. I mean, he may want it. He may not. I'll sing it if he wants me to, though. I'll throw it out there. Sister Michelle wants it. Maybe we'll end the show with that.
All right. Well, all right. He wants me to sing. I don't know the champion song. What, just We Are the Champions?
No, I'll teach it to him over our next break. We're going to probably hit one more music break real quick. Come back.
We're not hitting another music break. We don't have time.
We got 23 minutes.
We've got 20 minutes, and we still got 2 full games to go over.
And that's it. What else did you have on the docket for today? We got 2 games
I thought we had
left.
something else you want to talk about.
Like what?
I don't know.
We covered K-State and Oregon. We covered all last night's nonsense. We covered all the obscure news that came out of yesterday.
I swear there's something else I want to talk about. Whatever. All right, cool.
So I'll tell you what, why don't, since you're worried about the time constraint, why don't we hit the break now? I'll teach you the song. We'll come back. We'll preview the last 2 games, and we'll end the show singing to everybody. How do you feel about that?
I'm nervous because I don't know if we sing to everybody, if they'll actually come back on Monday.
They will.
But
They will.
We can try.
It's an original. I got to teach it to you. Dave's trying to find a song right now. By the way, any requests out there? Anybody want to hear something other than the champ song? Because you're going to hear that in a couple minutes. Julie Jules, you got something? Sister Michelle, you got something you want to hear? Throw it at us real quick. We don't mind.
No, we don't. So we didn't even pick the Green Bay Minnesota game though. So
We'll pick it then. I mean, I think it's.
well, I
I'm
picked
going
first
Green
on
Bay.
the last one.
I'm
so.
going Green Bay.
Yeah, we're all going Green Bay.
And I think it's just because, the Vikings had a great last game of the year, and Adrian Peterson, we know he's going to get his yardage. Sister Michelle says the Usher.
Okay.
That's her choice, if you want to throw something out for her.
Yeah, sure.
We don't have any Tom Petty, sister, or the boss, but we got some Usher for you, so we're going to go with the Usher.
The Usher.
So you got Green Bay as well?
Yeah, I have a hard time thinking that this team's going to lose 2 years in a row at home and be eliminated from the playoffs this early. I just do.
Plus, I mean, it's a Christian Ponder-led offense. It's not the same offense it was. Again, Peterson's great, and he's such a great story, and I really think he should be the MVP. But I just have a hard time believing they win this game.
Yeah, me too.